Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. So happy that you're here because we're in store for an amazing treat. We have an awesome special guest, Miss Kathryn Yarborough. Kathryn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
I'm delighted to be with you and all of your wonderful listeners.
Thank you. And Catherine's going to talk with us today about the courage to be visible. So this is something that's going to be so important, and we want to make sure that you stay tuned. Before we get into the amazing conversation with Catherine, I want to let you know what is the purpose of the show. The purpose of the Freedom Friday show is to support you as an entrepreneur in achieving your success in business and life harmony because it really is two sides of the same coin. We never want to get so busy making a living that we forget to make a life. And it is possible to work smarter, stress less, strengthen our relationships, and lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum. So this topic, Catherine, the courage to be visible. I'm so glad that you're sharing this with us today. Let them know a little bit about who you are. So, Kathryn Yarborough is the founder of Speakers with Heart. She inspires women entrepreneurs to be the fullest expression of themselves so that they are soulfully aligned, ideal clients can find them. She hosts summits and provides training on how to use speaking to attract clients. When not working, Kathryn loves watching movies, going for walks, and dreaming up new possibilities for her business. Oh, Kathryn, I love that. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you're here today.
You're
I
welcome.
yeah, I have a question for you. Okay. Tell us, why is this topic something that's so important, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs?
Well, I'm passionate about women solopreneurs doing a great job when they speak so that they're actually seen and heard and attract clients. And for years, I've been a solopreneur since 2001, so 24 years at this point. I felt invisible. In fact, I felt like I had an invisibility wall that was made out of plexiglass that I could look out and see everybody walking by and doing life. But people could walk when they walked by my plexiglass wall, my invisibility wall. It was as if I wasn't there and the wall wasn't there and they could look right through me. And I'm jumping up and down going, hey, see me, see my business, find out about me and find out and work with me. And I was screaming, and just a few people would see me. So then I started developing my speaking skills. And earlier this year, I committed to being the fullest expression of myself. And I'll tell you about that. And as a result, I was showing up and speaking up, and people started to notice me. And for the first time ever, I felt seen and heard, and I was attracting clients. So I knew I was onto something. So I am committed to teaching women solopreneurs how to be visible and to give them those opportunities to speak on my online summit so that they're seen, seen and heard by more of their potential clients.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I
Catherine, I
would,
love that.
yeah, yeah. I want to tell people about what I did to dissolve my invisibility wall, and part of it's about courage. So that's why this is all
Um,
important to me.
Oh my goodness, this is so good. We did, because you're going to share with us these 5 ways that, how invisibility shows up and what we can do about them. Like, I can't wait to hear more. Like, okay, so before we get into it, what are some of the challenges? Like you mentioned, it was a great analogy with your plexiglass. What are some of the challenges? Like, how do we know so that we have this invisible wall, or like that there is this challenge of visibility? What are some of like the common things that we can look out for?
So I don't know if everybody else is invisible or feels invisible at any point. So people who are listening, if you have ever felt invisible, you probably already resonate and oh, Catherine's talking to me. I know
Mhm.
exactly what that feels. You felt that way before, Heather?
Yes,
You
I
know,
have.
And it's like that whole crickets thing that people started using that term a few years ago. I don't know, it might even be a decade at this point. We'd post on social media and there'd be crickets. And it's like we're doing stuff, we're showing up, we're networking, we're doing things, and nobody is responding. And that can feel like invisibility. And we can procrastinate on stuff. So I'll share some of the ways invisibility can show up. In addition, it's like, maybe you're procrastinating and you are in control of that, and but you don't show up and you don't speak up because your website's not ready, or you haven't figured out what your offer is exactly. So you can feel pretty invisible if that's happening. Maybe have an invisibility wall like me. Maybe you experience the fear of success or the fear of failure, and you're stopped, you're frozen. So right, invisibility can show up in these different ways. Maybe you don't look for speaking opportunities, or you don't say yes to them, so you stay invisible.
This is so good. Well, thank you so much for highlighting some of the challenges or the common symptoms of it. Now, please share with us, what can we do about this? How can we step into our courage to be more visible? What wisdom do you have to share with us about that?
Well, so I want to tell y'all a little bit about what happened for me earlier this year, and we'll pull out some of the kernels of what's possible, for all of us to do. So as I said, I committed to being the fullest expression of myself. And here's why. Several years ago, I connected with my future on purpose self, that future me who is doing what I am here to do, full out, without constraint. And I identified some characteristics of her. She is successful. She is thriving. She speaks on big stages or stages with lots of people. And she is being what I experience as the fullest expression of herself. And then a few years ago, what came to me, actually, she told me that my mission and her mission or purpose is to inspire other women entrepreneurs to be the fullest expression of themselves. And so I've had this in my consciousness for a few years, and I felt like I hadn't quite mastered it. Okay. And I'm going to say this for those of you listening, and you too, Heather, being the fullest expression of yourself and what it means for you is likely different than what it means to me. And this I learned by actually doing presentations and talking to people about it and hearing what comes up for you when I say that. And somebody said, I bring more humor to my job. Another person said, I access inner peace more. And for me, being the fullest expression of myself means that I am showing up and I am speaking up, and I am speaking in a way that a unique vibration, my essence, my uniqueness quality comes through when I speak. So people actually feel me. And recently I was playing with it. I was thinking about it, and I believe, and I could be wrong, and I maybe I need to do some research on this, but I know I touch people because some people tell me, I love listening to you speak. And I know it's not everybody, because not everybody likes everybody, but I think that thing that comes through me is like oxygen to an ember, and it bursts that light that's within people into fire and a burning desire, if you will. And I think that's what this is, that I feel like I need, and I'm even getting chills as I say this, that I need to share in order for me to feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose and I'm doing what I'm here to do. So I know it's a bit long, so interrupt me if you need
No,
to,
this is
Heather, but
good. I'm listening.
okay. So what happened early this year at the beginning, about February-ish, and I'm saying, all right, so this is my mission, but I don't feel like I've quite mastered it. It's like I touch it. I touch being the fullest expression of myself, and I want to master it. That's what I see my future on purpose self. She's solidly in the practice of being the fullest expression of herself. There's no wavering. There's no retreating back behind her invisibility wall, if you will. Right. So I said to myself, all right, what if I create a challenge and I make it a 3-month challenge for myself to be the fullest expression of myself. And I identified some behaviors that if I did them regularly, I figured or thought that it would move me forward on this journey of mastering this skill, this way of being, being the fullest expression of myself. So, for example, showing up fully. When I say yes to something, really showing up and being the leader I am and speaking up about the things that I care about, whether it's impromptu or creating speaking opportunities or finding them and getting really clear about my core message or messages and speaking regularly in places where strangers will find me. So those sorts of things. Again, this is me, and some people might go, oh, I like those, I want to do those too. Great, that's fine. So I identified these behaviors. I even broke it down to more specific things like speaking 5 times a week, every other week, looking for and applying for speaking opportunities for this challenge. So I started it and I was doing these things. And for the first time, I actually realized I had the power to dissolve my invisibility wall. I, for the first time, felt visible. I felt seen and I felt heard. And I only did it for about 10 days and then I quit.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I was like, I don't know. It was just too much. Life took over. I don't know, but I did it enough to realize that it was up to me. That being visible doesn't have anything to do with other people, whether they see me, whatever. It's about me showing up and showing up. And it doesn't have to do with the algorithms. You know, it's so easy to blame it on Facebook if you're on Facebook or wherever. Oh, well, the algorithm, you know, it's about me being courageous, showing up, finding the speaking opportunities, preparing well so that when I speak, that unique vibration can come through me. And so I learned that. Now I have a second part to the story, but I want to pause now and see, you know, if that all makes sense or if you have a thought about it. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. We don't want to mute you. We
No, you
want
gotta
you.
unmute me. Yes, unmute me. So it does. It absolutely does make sense. It's actually really interesting how you started with this intention. Okay, I'm gonna be the fullest expression of myself. I'm gonna create this challenge. You started the challenge. You felt the spark. You felt the amber. Then there was this pause. But you know what was interesting is that it's like instead of just giving up, you reshifted, you recalibrated, right? And it evolved, even the message and even everything that you were doing. So I love that. It makes total sense. So first it started with the awareness and intention, right? And that
Yeah.
you had the power. You had the
Yes.
power to do it, to show up, to shine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. So I recently recommitted to my 3-month visibility challenge just like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I restarted it. I edited it. I recreated. I'm tracking it so that every day I go into a Word document and I say, this is what I did for it. This is what I noticed. And it is a powerful practice for me to do. I don't know that everybody needs to do something so structured or intense, but it's really helpful for me so that I can track what I'm doing and learn from the experience. And I'm so glad I restarted this because it's empowering.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what's interesting is that, you know, what gets tracked gets done, right? And
Mm,
being intentional is creating that discipline. First, so the one thing you highlighted first is recognize that you have the power, step, or you have the ability to make an intention. Then you have the power to be able to shift things and then commit. The part was recommitting, even if it falls off sometimes. It's like just get back on the bike and do it again. And it evolved, I'm sure, like you mentioned, when you did it the second time.
yeah, and right. So, and I'm only a couple weeks in, but I'm still going, and I don't expect to fall off the wagon this time, if you will. I am fully committed to doing this because I see the value in the learning process, and I really do want to master this skill. Now, I might fall off. but I will forgive myself.
That's right. Grace and mercy.
Yeah, yeah, and so I mean, I'm wanting part of one of the goals that I'm doing is to do 5 Facebook Lives a week. And I'm not getting that much visibility with them or traction with them. So I can see me kind of go, well, it's not really working. Should I keep going? That sort of thing. And maybe I need to tweak what I'm doing. But the truth is, just just by doing this process, I learned and I realized yesterday about the importance in terms of me feeling like I'm being the fullest expression of myself, that I'm letting that vibration come through. That and I need to create the situations where I am being that transmission, and I have to do it. And if I don't, then as I said earlier, I don't feel it's like I start to feel myself shutting down. If I'm not stepping into being the fullest expression of myself and practicing these things, then I feel myself going behind my invisibility wall, feeling smaller, feeling less than, feeling icky. But when I step into it and I do it and I let this stuff out, then I feel good. So I'm learning stuff. Like, it's just really, anyway, I'm very excited about it.
Well, I'm totally excited. And now I need to go back and look at some of those amazing lives that you did and be able to see and feel that excitement too. Because I think about, as you were talking, I was thinking about like a tree, right? A tree doesn't come out or a flower doesn't come out. And I say, oh my goodness, this is so scary. Let me just go back down in the dirt. It doesn't do that. But we as humans, we can tend to do that so easily. If something doesn't work out the first couple of times, right? And we're called to continue to rise and shine and grow anyway, just like nature does. And that takes the like that. I love this. You were saying you were identifying this one thing that you can do to break the habit of invisibility. And this is the habit that you created. And so, for those of you who are listening, think about, what habit do you want to create to break the habit of your invisibility? Because it's so fun and easy and safe to be invisible, but we're
True.
called as entrepreneurs to be visible, right?
Right. Right. We've got, for the most of us, I mean, I think there
Or a
are
good
some
portion.
yeah, there are some businesses where you don't have to be, and you can have a thriving business. But those of us typically who are coaches, healers, on purpose solopreneurs, at some point we need to show up and let people know about what we do. And it takes courage. That was the other piece of all this. It's like, oh my goodness, it is safer to be back behind my invisibility wall. Like, if I'm back here hiding, I'm not going to get attacked, in quotes. Not that I've ever really been attacked, but some people can be judgy. And I'm not going to get overwhelmed by too many clients, because I'm not going to get that many clients if I'm back here behind my visibility wall. So there's a lot of safety back there. So it takes courage to be visible. And hence the name of this presentation, or this podcast today. And I like doing it as a presentation out in the world too. The courage to be visible, because I want to acknowledge that all of us, every single one of us, every time we step up and be visible, we are being courageous, and we're facing whatever might be uncomfortable with visibility.
Well, what you mentioned in the description, like, explore this one question that'll help you have more visibility. What is that about? Is it a question we ask ourselves? Is it a question that we,
Yes.
like, how can we be able to get this moving? Like, for those people who are like in that, like, we could create a challenge, a unique challenge. I love challenges. Kudos for you for 3 months. I can only process and do really well with the 1 month. And then we just renew.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I have to tell you, I had it on my list for at least 2 weeks before I finally took the time to go, okay, what do I want this to, I mean, I was procrastinating on it. I knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to start the beginning. Or actually, I guess it was in the middle of in the middle of October. But anyhow, here is the question that we can
Okay.
all use, and it's such a simple question. Why do you want to be visible?
Mm, why do you want to be visible? Good question. And what will this question help us with? It started thing like, oh, because so many people need our message and like lives are literally being lost as a result of us not showing up in our full light. And, who knows, like we could be the one to change and support someone else in their world and let that ripple effect create. So many things come to mind right away, but I feel like it's also something to journal about too.
Yeah, I think those are all like yes,
Okay.
and to keep being with it, to go to as deep a place as you can, because visibility takes courage and it takes action, especially if you want to be visible. I mean, there's lots of different ways to be visible. Let me say this too, because when I talk to people, I do a free assessment these days. If you hang out with me, if you get on my email list, because we've got a free gift, it's not the assessment, but I've been talking to people about soulfully aligned visibility. That's what the assessment is, soulfully aligned visibility assessment. A lot of people don't realize that visibility can look different. It can be writing blogs and getting your blogs visible as a guest blogger on someone else's big blog, like Medium or wherever. There's all kinds of places. And it can be speaking on summits, and it can be being on podcasts like this, and it can be doing reels or lives, your own stuff. And so we each need to find the way that we are called to be visible or want to be visible, or enjoy being visible, whatever it is for you, because it takes courage.
Mm, so good.
Eh, Yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
deeper. So
So,
so that's the surface level what we kind of talked about, but then like taking it deeper for that intrinsic motivation.
right. Right, because if you get to the deep place, like for me, truly, it is about my deep desire to be the fullest expression of myself, because I can feel inside of me that if I'm not, I doing that, I am not fulfilling my purpose, and I feel a sense of less than, shrinking, and like unhappiness, actually. So I need to be visible right now, at least in order to master this skill, to be this person I'm called to be. And it's all about me. That's not about, I mean, yes, I can talk about touching other people. I can talk about attracting clients, because if I'm visible, people will hear about me and potentially want to work with me if it's a good match. But for me, my why is all about me and how I want to feel.
Well, it's really beautiful too, because when it comes from that intrinsic place, then the external results and the magnitude of the impact is even bigger and deeper because it's felt from that inside place out. And that creates more of a like a lasting foundation to be able to grow and build on as compared to if it's an external motivation. It can go, but that's what can also lead to burnout. Like we're called to to enjoy this journey. And I love that you highlighted the different that visibility means different things for different people. It doesn't have to be just being seen. It can also being listened to or being read by, right? Like all of these other pieces that are just so powerful. Based on everything that you've shared with us so far, Kathryn, what would be the biggest takeaway that you want to leave us with?
Mm. So I encourage you. So if you're listening to this, it probably means that you want to be visible too. And maybe it's because you want to attract more clients. I I encourage you to find the courage. I know that if you're listening to this, you're likely a woman, solopreneur, a coach, a healer. And I know that if you are visible, and this may be a superficial level, but it's also important, your people will be able to find you more easily than if you're not. And what I have no doubt that what you have to share with them matters. So I encourage you to find the courage to be visible.
Oh, so good. That's so good. Especially because timing is it's not of the essence, like it's like not a hurry thing, but it is so important because a lot of times when we have that invisible wall, it can kind of create and kick down the can of success that we're called to have. And we're called to have that even more so now as we're a being of service. So good. How can we continue this journey with you, Kathryn? Do you have like a free gift or something that you can leave us with so we can stay connected to you and your world?
I do. Yes, yes. It's my 5 questions to design your visibility plan. So, not exactly the fullest expression of yourself challenge, but it might turn into something like that. And yeah, it's at speakerswithheart.com/visibility questions. I assume you're going to share the link somewhere, but 5 questions
Yes.
to design your visibility plan, and you'll get hooked up with me. And I do send emails out a couple of weeks, so plan to hear from me, and you'll hear about all the different wonderful opportunities to hang out with me, speak on my summits, do trainings, do stuff. So let's show up
Oh my
and speak up.
goodness, I love that. The link will be down in the show notes. So you want to make sure that you get and click on that link right now today after you finish watching this, and then get connected with Kathryn. Kathryn, I'm so thankful for you being and sharing your wisdom with us today. I feel even more empowered and motivated. And everyone out there who's listening, which if you've been given this inspiration of visibility, which I know that you have in this journey, go ahead and share this message out and give someone else that gift of visibility. And we also want to hear your wisdom too. Put in the comments below, what is your biggest takeaway from this message? What is that answer to the question, that deep level answer to the question that Kathryn shared with us? Let this message marinate into your mind, body, heart, and soul all weekend long and beyond. And we look forward to seeing you again for another episode of Freedom Fridays. Thank you so much again, Kathryn. Oh, bless you, my sister from another mister. All righty, everyone, another level, live and land. We'll see you again soon. Bye.